Tonight, as you prepare to rest, I invite you to remember a sacred truth, that your imagination is not a fantasy, but the very creative force of the universe. What you impress upon your mind in those quiet, drifting moments before sleep holds the power to shape your waking world. The secret lies not in striving, but in surrendering your desire to the felt reality of it already being fulfilled. You do not beg the universe, you do not plead, you do not ask as one who is uncertain. You assume the end. You sink into it. As your body relaxes into stillness, allow your mind to rise in vision. See only what you would see if your wish were already granted. Hear what you would hear. Feel what you would feel. The key is the feeling. You must move beyond the words of the desire and live from the state of its fulfillment. This is not a doing, but a becoming. In the quiet of the night, you slip into the skin of the one who already has what they want. You do not ask, will it come? You do not say, I hope. You say, it is done. Your dream becomes the reality in which you now dwell. Your senses in imagination are more real than the senses of the outer world. That is the gateway to creation. You speak not to an outside force, but to the deeper self within, the one who knows no lack, no time, no impossibility. You commune with this self by embodying your desire in the silence. Just before sleep, when the walls between the conscious and the subconscious are thinnest, you plant the seed, and you do so by imagining the scene that would naturally follow the realization of your desire. Do not concern yourself with how it will unfold. That is not your role. Your work is to feel the scene so vividly, so naturally, that it becomes more than thought. It becomes experience. And once you have felt it real, you let go. You drift into sleep not with longing, but with satisfaction. The satisfied mind is the fertile soil for the miracle. So when you lie down tonight, remember this power. Assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Occupy that state. Rest in it. Trust it. And know that as you sleep, the unseen forces are rearranging themselves to reflect your inner assumption. What you accept as true in that sacred space between waking and sleep, that is what you will call reality. And as you lie in that sacred stillness, let go of the world around you. Let go of the facts, the figures, the appearances that may seem to contradict your desire. Those are but shadows, echoes of old thoughts that no longer serve you. Do not be fooled by them. The outer world is a mirror, not a master. It reflects only what has been accepted within. So turn away from appearances and turn inward where your true power lies. In this moment, just before sleep, you become the author of your reality. Your mind is open, soft, receptive, a divine womb ready to receive the seed of your imagination. Choose your thoughts with care, not from fear or lack, but from joy, from knowing. If you wish to be loved, then feel what it would be like to fall asleep in the arms of that love. If you wish for abundance, then feel the deep relief, the freedom, the gratitude of already having more than enough. Do not imagine the process, imagine the result. Do not imagine the journey, imagine the arrival. For your imagination does not concern itself with means, only with ends. The question is not whether it will work. The question is, will you persist in the assumption? For one moment of doubt can unravel what hours of faith have woven. But if you remain faithful to the vision, if you return to it night after night as one returns home, then the world must conform. The universe is compelled to reflect what you accept as true in your inner world. This is law, unbreakable and impersonal. It responds not to pleading, but to belief. So ask not by word, but by assuming. The assumption is the silent prayer that never goes unheard. Feel it real. That is your language to the universe. That is the signal, the frequency, the command. There is no force more magnetic than a heart that believes it already has what it desires. Such a heart draws the seen and unseen alike, arranging people, places, and events to bring forth the thing imagined. You must become the thing long before it appears. You must live in the feeling, not just touch it lightly, but dwell in it, marinate in it. Let it become so normal to you that anything else begins to feel strange. This is the secret. To be so at home in your vision that it no longer feels like fantasy, but like memory. Because it is a memory from the deeper part of you that already lives in the fulfillment. Tonight, as you close your eyes, step into the life you desire, not as a wishful dreamer, but as the one who already lives it. If you long for success, then feel the thrill of accomplishment. If you yearn for healing, then feel the vitality coursing through your body. If you want peace, then let it wash over you like a soft wave. You are not faking it, you are creating it. Your feeling is the first manifestation. The outer world is only the echo, the inner world is the cause. When you change your inner conversations, when you revise your memories, when you imagine boldly and lovingly, you are rewriting the script of your life. No matter what has happened, no matter how long you have waited, it is never too late to turn the tide. Creation is finished, all possibilities exist. You are simply selecting the one you desire by aligning with its frequency. And what is that frequency? It is the feeling of already being the person who has what you want. That is how you ask. You do not beg the universe, you commune with it by being it. You rise into that identity in thought, in sensation, in assumption. And once you claim it, even in silence, it becomes yours. There is no need to strain, there is no need to force. The power is in the ease, the naturalness of the assumption. If it feels like effort, you are still trying. But when it feels like surrender, when it feels like slipping into something that was always yours, then you are aligned. Let your desire feel like a familiar friend, not a distant fantasy. Let it be something you remember, not something you chase. Tonight, when you ask the universe, do it without words. Let the language be emotion. Let the conversation be sensation. Visualize the moment after the thing has happened, not the wish, but the fulfillment. Who are you in that moment? What do you see, hear, and feel? Let that vision be so rich, so textured, that it becomes more real to you than anything in the waking world. You may feel the temptation to doubt. That's natural. The old self will try to rise again and remind you of the facts. But you are not bound by facts. You are bound only by your assumptions. So when doubt arises, return gently to your vision. Do not fight the doubt. Replace it. Starve it by feeding your faith. Nourish the vision until it becomes your dwelling place. As you fall asleep, do not carry the burdens of the day. Do not rehearse your fears or replay your failures. That is asking the universe for more of what you do not want. Instead, revise the day, see it as you wished it had gone. Imagine the kind words spoken, the doors opened, the good news received. In doing so, you rewrite not only the past, but the future. You are the dreamer of the dream. But more than that, you are the creator of the dream. The dream responds to you, molds itself around your inner state. So when you ask the universe tonight, ask as one who knows, ask as one who receives. Ask not with longing, but with gratitude. And let that gratitude be your pillow. Let it carry you into sleep with the sweetness of fulfillment. And if you wake in the night, do not return to worry. Return to the vision. Let it be your lullaby. Whisper to yourself, it is done. Because it is. The moment you accept it within, it is planted. And though you may not see it immediately, it is growing. Trust the process. Trust the seed. Trust the unseen. Do not measure with the outer eye. The eyes of flesh will deceive you. Look instead with the eyes of imagination. They see deeper, clearer, truer. And they always see in alignment with what you choose to believe. So choose wisely, lovingly. Believe the best. This is how you ask the universe. Not by knocking on a door hoping someone will hear you, but by walking through the door as if it were already open. You act from the state, not toward it. You be before you see. That is the divine paradox. You become the receiver by believing you already have. Let tonight be a sacred ritual. Not just another night of sleep, but a holy communion with the source of all creation. As you rest, you create. As you sleep, you instruct. And what you instruct with feeling, with faith, will return to you pressed down, shaken together, and running over. You are never asking in vain. You are always heard, because the one you ask is not separate from you, it is you, in your highest form. So fall asleep, not as one who wakes, but as one who knows, not as one who hopes, but as one who lives in the certainty of the unseen. And when you wake, carry that feeling with you. Let it color your day. Let it guide your steps. Let it remind you of who you truly are, a creator, a chooser, a dreamer who dreams awake. And when doubt knocks again, as it will, return again, return to the vision, return to the silence, return to the state. That is your sanctuary, your power, your birthplace of miracles. The more you live there, the more the world will shift to meet you. The universe does not resist your desire, it reflects your belief. So believe well. Now, as sleep gently embraces you, breathe deeply. Inhale the reality of your desire fulfilled. Exhale every story that says it isn't so. And as you drift, let your final thought be not of lack, but of love. Not of waiting, but of wonder. Not of trying, but of knowing. And as you drift deeper into the embrace of sleep, feel yourself relaxing not only your body, but your identity. The version of you that felt unworthy, that doubted, that waited endlessly, that version is melting away. In its place rises a new self, the one who knows that all things are possible, that the universe is already conspiring in their favor. There is nothing you must earn. There is no proving required. The asking is in the being. The receiving is in the resting. When you say, I am, you do not speak idle words. You speak from the source of all creation. I am is the beginning of everything that follows, the doorway through which desire steps into form. So tonight, as you lie still, choose your I am wisely. Let it be rooted in fulfillment. Let it rise from love. Say within yourself, I am wealthy. I am loved. I am free, not as affirmations of what already is in the eternal now. This present moment is your point of power. The future is only the unfolding of the state you dwell in now. The world bends itself to that state, not the other way around. So you do not wait for the world to show you evidence. You become the evidence. You live even in silence, as if it were already done, because in the unseen it is. Feel the weight of having it. Feel the ease, the comfort, the relaxation that comes when you no longer need to chase. It is yours. There is nothing more to do but be. This is not about intensity, it is about alignment. You are aligning with the version of yourself that already has what you seek. That version does not try, that version simply knows. And in that knowing, the bridge of events begins to form. You will not see it all at once. That is not your task. Your task is to hold the state, to return to it when shaken, to trust it more than appearances. Life will rearrange itself around your dominant assumption. You are not subject to fate. You are subject to faith. What you accept as true becomes the law of your world. So rest tonight in that acceptance. There is no desire placed in your heart that is not already yours in spirit. The moment you desire a thing, the way to it is made, not by force, but by assumption. You become a magnet, a lighthouse, a signal, calling forth what matches your internal frequency. And you adjust that frequency, not by effort, but by feeling. So let the feeling rise within you now. Let it soak into your skin, your bones, your breath. Feel the joy of it, the wholeness, the peace. Imagine a scene that implies it is done. Not a scene where you're still wanting, still hoping, but a scene that can only exist if the desire has already been fulfilled. That is your scene. That is your answer. That is your prayer. And when you find that scene, when it feels real, natural, inevitable, repeat it. Loop it gently in your mind like a lullaby. Let it be the last thing you think of before sleep takes you. Let it carry you across the threshold between the conscious and the subconscious. For once the subconscious accepts it, it will express it. It may come through unexpected means. It may appear suddenly or subtly, but it will come. because you have spoken in the language it understands, the language of feeling, of belief, of knowing. The universe does not respond to desperation, it responds to certainty. It mirrors the posture of your heart. So tonight, do not wait for signs. Be the sign. Do not ask when. Rest in the now. The now is the womb of eternity, and in it all things are born. The future is but the echo of this present state. Change the state, and the future must shift to match. It is law. If you want something to be different tomorrow, you must feel different tonight. You must occupy the new self, the one who already has it, lives it, knows it. You are not becoming that person, you are revealing that person. They already exist in you, waiting for you to recognize them. And you do that by assuming their identity, not later, but now. This is the sacred art of asking. It is not done with noise, but with silence, not with effort, but with ease, not with waiting, but with embodying. You ask by being, you receive by remaining. Let the world fall away, let the doubts dissolve, let the vision rise. You will know it's working, not by what you see, but by how you feel. A calm confidence, a gentle knowing, a subtle joy, these are the signs. When the desire no longer feels far, when it no longer feels like a wish, but like a memory, you are there. And from that state, the world will take shape around you. What once seemed impossible will become natural. What once felt far away will feel close. People, ideas, opportunities, they will flow to you, not because you chased them, but because you aligned with them. The outer is drawn to the inner. The outer bends to the inner. You are the cause. Everything else is effect. So continue now, lying in the warmth of this truth. Continue to feel as though it is done. If your mind wanders, bring it back gently. No judgment, no frustration, just return. Return to the feeling, return to the scene, return to the state. This is your holy work. This is your night prayer. Not words, but embodiment. You are not asking a distant force to grant your desire. You are activating the infinite within. You are claiming what has always been yours. Your imagination is not idle, it is divine. It is the creative power of the universe expressing itself as you. And when you use it with faith, with feeling, with focus, mountains move. Even now, as you lie still, things are changing. The unseen is working on your behalf. The pattern is shifting, the path is clearing. All because you dared to feel it real. All because you entered the state of the wish fulfilled and made it your dwelling place. There is no greater act of creation than this. You do not need to worry. You do not need to watch the clock. Creation is finished. You are simply selecting your portion. And once selected, it must be delivered. It may come wrapped in mystery. It may come by way of delay. But come it will if you do not waver. You are not at the mercy of the world. You are the author of it. Your beliefs, your assumptions, your inner states, these are the pen and ink. Use them wisely. Use them lovingly. For what you imagine tonight will echo through time. So lie still. Breathe deeply. Let every breath carry you further into your new self. Let every beat of your heart anchor the truth that it is done. And should you wake tomorrow to the same world, do not be dismayed. The seed takes time to grow. But the moment you planted it, it began. Trust that. Trust yourself. And if the world challenges your assumption, do not argue with it. Do not plead or panic. Return to your state. That is where your power is. The world must catch up to it, but it cannot resist it. The inner state always wins, always. So tonight, ask not by questioning, but by declaring. Declare silently that it is done. Let your soul rejoice, let your heart rest, and let sleep carry you deeper into the world you have chosen, the world that already exists in you, the world that now begins to move toward you, because you dared to live in the end. And as your body falls deeper into slumber, know this: your work is done. You have asked, you have felt, you have assumed, and now you receive. In dreams, in signs, in whispers, in miracles. Let the old self sleep. Let the new self rise. Let the fulfillment begin. There is nothing more for you to chase. In this moment, your only work is to rest in the awareness of fulfillment. You are not practicing wishful thinking. You are partaking in divine remembering. You are recalling who you are before the world taught you limitation. You are tuning in to the version of yourself that lacks nothing, the version that knows deeply, effortlessly, that what is desired is already done. And as you recline in that knowing, your very vibration becomes a silent magnet to all that matches it. This is not magic, this is law, silent, impartial, unfailing law. It responds to your inner conviction, not your outer effort. It echoes back to you not what you say in passing, but what you assume in being. So what you bring to sleep each night becomes the blueprint of your tomorrows. If you carry fear, fear is built. If you carry lack, lack is carved. But if you carry love, if you carry joy, if you carry the sweet ease of the answered prayer, then that is what shall rise before you. You have asked, and asking is done through feeling. The moment you align with the version of you who already has, already is, already knows, you have made your request. There is no need to repeat it over and over in desperation. That is not trust. That is anxiety wearing the mask of intention. Let your desire breathe. Let your imagination do its sacred work. Trust that the inner movement you made tonight will ripple through the field of consciousness and bring to you what you have already lived within. It does not matter if you have tried before. It does not matter how many days you have waited or how long you've been told no. Those are old echoes. They belong to the former self, the one you are now letting go of. You are not who you were. You are who you assume yourself to be in this holy moment before sleep. And the beauty of this gift is that no one can do it for you, and no one can take it from you. You are the author, the speaker, the director of this inner script. And once the scene is set, the cast and the setting and the dialogue will follow in your waking world. You do not go to the universe as a beggar. You go as one with the authority of being. You are not trying to become something. You are revealing what is already within you. Every desire is a seed already encoded with the fruit. You are not making it happen. You are allowing it to unfold by stepping into the feeling of it being so. And as you sleep in that feeling, the subconscious accepts it as law. The subconscious is the soil. It does not choose what is planted. It only brings forth what is given to it with belief. And tonight, as you plant the image, the emotion, the knowing of your fulfilled desire, you are handing the seed to that sacred ground. You do not need to check on it in the night. You do not need to ask again in the morning. You simply need to know that the work is done and the harvest is inevitable. What you imagine consistently with emotion and certainty will come to pass. It does not come through striving or stress. It comes through alignment, through allowing, through acceptance. The more natural it feels to you, the more effortlessly it flows to you. So let it feel natural. Let it feel as ordinary as breathing, as sleeping, as waking. Let the state of the wish fulfilled become your new normal. And should the world still look the same tomorrow, smile anyway, because your reality begins not with what you see, but with what you believe. And belief, true belief, is blind to delay. It does not flinch when the evidence is not yet visible. It walks as if the path is already laid. It speaks as though the promise is already kept. It acts in harmony with the unseen, knowing that what is real in imagination must become real in time. You do not have to figure out how. The how is not your concern. The how belongs to the unseen forces, the divine intelligence that orchestrates all things. Your only task is to dwell in the end, to see, feel, and live from the place where it is already done. You do not have to know the steps. The steps will appear as needed, sometimes so naturally that you won't even recognize them as steps. You may find yourself guided to make a call, to say yes to something you would have ignored before, to turn left instead of right. These are not accidents. These are movements born from the state you assumed. When you change the inner, the outer changes. Not always through lightning, but often through whisper. Be still enough to hear it. There is no distance between you and your desire, except the one your mind creates. The moment you dissolve that distance in your imagination, the moment you become one with the outcome, the path is formed. And what was once a dream becomes memory. You will one day look back on this night and know that it was the moment it all changed, not because something happened outside of you, but because something shifted within. So feel it again now. Let the vision return. Let the scene play out in your mind like a sacred film, one you've seen 1,000 times because it's yours. Feel the weight of it, the colors, the temperature of the air, the tone of the voice speaking to you, the scent in the room, the texture of joy. Let it be vivid, let it be alive, let it be so familiar that the waking world begins to mold itself around it. You are not asking for something you do not have. You are claiming something that already exists in consciousness. You are stepping into the room where your desire has always waited for you. And as you enter it in imagination, your whole vibration shifts. You begin to walk differently, speak differently, think differently. Not because you are pretending, but because you have remembered who you really are. The universe is not ignoring you, it is waiting for you to be in tune. It is always responding, always reflecting. And once you change what you accept as true about yourself, your world cannot help but change in return. So accept it now. Accept the new story, the new reality, the new identity, and let it sink so deep that it becomes effortless. Do not look to the future with longing, look to it with recognition. The future you desire is the child of your present assumption. Love it now and it will grow. Tend to it now and it will flourish. But if you return to doubt, to fear, to waiting, then that too shall bear fruit. So be mindful of what you entertain. Your mind is the gate. Guard it with love. And when morning comes, walk as the one who has, speak as the one who knows, move as the one who lives in the end, not for show, not for performance, but because it is now who you are. You have become it in imagination, and all that remains is for life to catch up. Every night offers this doorway. Every sleep is a sacred chance to recreate. You are never bound to what was. You are always free to assume something new. And the moment you do, the universe bows in agreement. It conspires, it shifts, it opens the way, because creation is finished, and you are simply selecting the part of it that matches your state. So lie there now in perfect stillness and let the feeling take you over one more time. Let it fill your heart, your breath, your entire being. There is nothing more to prove, nothing more to ask. You have become the one who already knows it is done. And that is the most powerful thing you can do. You have spoken to the universe in the only language it truly hears, the language of feeling. And in that sacred whisper, your destiny is rewritten. Let yourself drift deeper into the feeling now, where nothing is missing, where nothing is lacking. In this inner sanctuary, you are complete. The desire has already fulfilled itself within you, and there is no separation between what you seek and who you are. Feel that unity, feel that merging. There is no striving here, no hoping, only being. This is your most powerful tool. You do not need to see immediate results to know something has shifted. The very fact that you feel different is evidence enough. The change always begins within. You may not notice it in the outer world right away, but something in you has changed. And because you have changed, the world must change with you. It may be slow, it may be sudden, but it is sure. The rhythm of the universe does not falter. It is always orchestrating, always responding to the impressions made upon your inner self. So tonight, do not ask as if you are in lack. Assume from the position of fullness. Let your very breath become a declaration that it is done. Inhale the reality of it. Exhale the resistance to it. Each breath becomes a quiet affirmation, each moment a testament to your faith. There is no power outside of you greater than the one within you. That creative center is not far away in some distant realm. It lives and breathes within your consciousness. When you imagine, when you feel, when you believe, you are activating it. You are initiating the unseen mechanics of manifestation. This is not fantasy, this is function. This is how the inner world impresses upon the outer. So when you lie here tonight, you are not merely falling asleep, you are sowing the future. You are communing with the divine in you, the part of you that has never doubted, never feared, never been touched by time or limitation. And this part of you, this eternal self, answers not with words, but with form. You feel it real, and it becomes real. You live it within, and it lives without. Let your imagination become your truest sense. Let it be more real than what you see with your eyes or hear with your ears. These outer senses are delayed reflections of what you first perceive in the spirit. Imagination is your first sight. What you see there, clearly and consistently, must crystallize in time. And so feel it again, whatever it is you have asked for, whether health, love, abundance, peace, purpose. Feel the relief of it, the celebration, the deep satisfaction that comes only after a desire is realized. Let yourself be surprised by joy. Let yourself sink into that reality so fully that when you open your eyes tomorrow, your first instinct is gratitude, not need. Your mind may attempt to pull you back to the familiar, to the safe, to the logical, but you must remind it gently, this is your new truth. This is your new dwelling place. This is your chosen state. And you will return to it again and again until it becomes your only home. Because that is how it happens, not by force, but by familiarity. You rehearse the scene of your fulfillment until it becomes natural, second nature. Not because you are forcing it to happen, but because it has already happened within, and you are now simply remembering what has always been yours. This is not effort, this is rest. This is not striving, this is allowing. You are not in conflict with reality, you are reshaping it by choosing a different lens, a different story, a different identity. And that choice is yours, always, no matter the past, no matter what has been. You can choose again, you can imagine again, and in doing so you give new instructions to the universe. Do not let the old thoughts echo. Silence them with vision. Replace them with feeling. Whenever doubt knocks, answer it with the certainty of your inner experience. What you feel in imagination carries more weight than what you see in the world, because the world is delayed. It is old news. It is the afterglow of what you used to believe. But now you believe something new. Now you believe in the power within you to shape and create. You believe in your ability to speak in the language of emotion and be heard. And so, you have already been heard. You have already received. And all that's left is for the outer to catch up to the inner. There is a sacred timing to all things, but it is never a punishment. Delay is not denial, it is preparation, it is orchestration, it is the unseen arranging itself for your benefit, and so you wait. Not in anxiety, but in faith. Not in longing, but in confidence. You wait as one who knows the promise has already been kept. You may not see how the pieces will come together. You don't need to. That is not your role. Your only role is to stay faithful to the end scene, the end state, the felt conclusion. Let that be your home. Let it be the place you return to, no matter what the outer world suggests. And you will notice something miraculous. Not only does the world begin to change around you, but you change. You carry yourself differently. You speak with authority. You make choices from a place of empowerment, rather than desperation. You attract what matches your new state, not through manipulation, but through resonance. Because life is not happening to you, it is happening through you, through your focus, through your assumptions, through your most dominant inner state. And now, that state is the wish fulfilled. That state is completion. That state is answered prayer. Even as you sleep, you are radiating that truth. The silent language of your heart is speaking. The seed is planted, the field is fertile, and the harvest is certain. Let yourself sink deeper now into that feeling. Let every muscle relax. Let your breath slow. Let the story of your future self play softly in your mind like a lullaby. You do not need to force the details. Just feel the outcome. See the evidence on the faces of those around you. Hear the voice of someone congratulating you. Sense the quiet peace that comes when a chapter has been completed, when something long desired has finally arrived. It is here, not in a distant place, but in you. You are the doorway. You are the mirror. You are the vessel through which the unseen becomes seen. And the more you allow that truth to take root in you, the more the world must respond in kind. This is not a one-time act. This is a way of being. This is how you live now, not in the shadows of lack, but in the light of fulfillment. This is how you think now, not from the pain of what is missing, but from the joy of what is present in spirit. This is how you dream now, not from the limits of the past, but from the infinite possibilities of the now. Let your last thought before sleep be this: it is done. Let it echo in your being. Let it settle in your chest. Let it speak louder than fear, louder than fact, louder than history. It is done. And because it is done in you, it will be done for you. You do not need to ask again. You only need to remain. Remain in the state, remain in the knowing, remain in the feeling, and everything else will come. Because everything else is already on its way. And so you rest, not just your body, but your soul. You rest in the assurance that the universe, your subconscious, the divine, all have heard you. And all are now moving gently, silently, inevitably to bring to pass what you have already received in the secret place of your heart. Sleep now in peace. You have spoken, you have asked, and the answer is already yours. And now, as sleep gently cradles you, let all striving cease. Let your heart be light, your mind at ease, and your spirit at rest. You have asked in the only way that matters, by feeling it real, by assuming the end, by living the answer before it appears. You have whispered to the universe without words, and the universe has answered without delay. So rest in that silent certainty, carry the feeling of fulfillment into your dreams, and let the night do its sacred work. For what is real within must become real without, and it is done. There is a hidden power within you, a force so great that it can shape reality itself. It is not found in the stars, nor in the hands of fate, but in the deep well of your own imagination. Whatever you seek, whatever you long for, is already yours, if only you dare to believe it so. The secret is not in waiting, not in hoping, but in knowing. You must live as if the answer has already come, walk as if the path is already clear, and rejoice as if the victory is already won. Faith is not a passive state. It is the most creative act of all. It is the unwavering conviction that what is unseen is more real than what is before your eyes. It is not enough to wish, nor even to pray with longing. One must assume with absolute certainty that what is desired is already present. This is the key, the great mystery that turns dreams into reality. The world you experience is but a reflection of your own inner state. Change that state, and the world around you will move to match it. What would it feel like if your prayers were already answered? If the love you seek was already yours? If the wealth you desire was already in your hands? If the success you long for had already been achieved? Can you summon that feeling now, in this very moment? For if you can, you have unlocked the door. This is not a matter of chance, but of law, an unbreakable principle that governs the unseen forces of life. Believe that it is done and it will be done. Step into the reality of your fulfilled desires and watch as the world bends to meet you there. To truly manifest, you must abandon the old habits of doubt and fear. You cannot ask for something while holding on to the belief that it is out of reach. You cannot pray for abundance while seeing yourself as lacking. You cannot seek love while feeling unworthy of it. The world responds not to your words, but to the state of being you dwell in. The moment you shift your awareness to the fulfillment of your desires, they must materialize. It is not enough to visualize, nor to speak affirmations in an empty ritual. You must embody the feeling of having received. When you close your eyes, do you feel the warmth of love surrounding you? Do you sense the freedom of financial abundance? Do you carry yourself as someone who already possesses all they have asked for? If you do, then the law is in motion. If you do not, then you must persist until the feeling becomes real within you. You must live each moment in the joy and certainty that your desire has already found you. When you wake in the morning, step into the day as the person who already possesses their dream. When you walk, walk as one whose heart is full of gratitude for the answered prayer. When you speak, let your words reflect the truth that it is already done. The universe does not delay in responding. It mirrors your deepest convictions instantly. What you accept as true within will become your truth without. The greatest barrier to manifestation is not the outside world, but the resistance within. Doubt is the voice of a mind still trapped in the illusion of separation from its desire. Fear is the whisper of an old self unwilling to let go of limitations. The mind will argue, it will seek evidence of lack, it will try to convince you that you must struggle. But you must be steadfast. You must refuse to give power to anything but the vision of your fulfilled desire. If you desire love, then be love. If you seek abundance, then radiate abundance in thought and action. If you yearn for success, then carry yourself as one who has already triumphed. The energy you put forth is what you receive in return. This is not a theory nor a philosophy. It is the law by which all things are made manifest. The universe does not play favorites. It simply reflects what you deeply believe to be true. The reason so many fail to see their desires fulfilled is not because they lack the power, but because they surrender to doubt before the miracle unfolds. They plant the seed but dig it up in impatience. They declare their wish, but then undo it with thoughts of fear and lack. The law does not work on hesitation, it works on conviction. You must hold fast to the feeling of the wish fulfilled, unwavering, unshaken, until it hardens into fact. This is not the way of the world, which teaches that you must see before you believe, but in truth you must believe before you see. Your external circumstances are the echoes of your internal state. If you persist in seeing yourself as small, the world will confirm it. If you walk in the assumption of greatness, life will rise to meet you there. There is no force outside of you determining your fate. It is you, always you, shaping your experience by the reality you choose to accept. Do not concern yourself with how things will unfold. The mind, bound by logic and reason, will try to force solutions, will attempt to map out the details, will demand proof. But the great secret is that you do not need to know the how. You need only dwell in the knowing that it is already done. The path will form itself. The means will come in ways you could not have foreseen. The world will shift to accommodate the assumption you have made. Every great transformation in life begins in the unseen. The tree exists within the seed before it breaks through the soil. The masterpiece exists in the artist's mind before the brush ever touches the canvas. The invention is real in the inventor's imagination before it takes physical form. Likewise, your answered prayer is real the moment you claim it as so within you. So, live now as though the dream has already been realized. Rejoice now as though the blessing is already in your hands. Love now as though you are already surrounded by the warmth of everything you have ever wished for. For the truth is, you are. The only thing that stands between you and your desire is the belief that there is a distance at all. Remove that illusion and you will see you were always standing in the midst of your answered prayer. There is no delay in the fulfillment of your desire except the delay you place upon it, with doubt, hesitation, and disbelief. The moment you accept that what you desire is already yours, reality begins to shift in accordance with your belief. But you must not waver. You must not look to the world for validation before you believe, for the world is merely a mirror reflecting back the state you hold within. Every great achievement, every miracle, every transformation has followed this one principle. Live as though it is already done. There is no other path, no secret formula beyond this. Those who have risen from obscurity to greatness did not wait for the world to grant them permission. They assumed their success, they walked in the certainty of their destiny, and the world adjusted to their belief. To live in this way is to move beyond the limitations of the physical senses. The senses will try to deceive you, to tell you that you're still lacking, still waiting, still hoping. But your senses are merely the echoes of past assumptions. They do not define the future unless you allow them to. If you believe only in what you see, you remain bound to what has been. But if you believe in what you have imagined, if you claim it as real, then what has been will dissolve, and what must be will come forth. The law of manifestation is not about effort. It is not about forcing, struggling, or striving. It is about assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled and resting in that assumption. It is about dwelling in the end result, not in the process, not in the obstacles, not in the seeming delays. The moment you shift your focus from longing to knowing, from wishing to being, everything changes. Most people live in the constant state of waiting for a sign, waiting for circumstances to shift, waiting for something outside of them to give them permission to believe. But waiting is nothing more than the absence of faith. To wait is to assume separation from your desire. To wait is to tell the universe that you do not yet have what you seek. And so you remain waiting. But the one who lives as if their prayer is already answered never waits. They move, they speak, they breathe in the certainty that what they have asked for is already theirs. You do not become wealthy by waiting to see money in your hands. You do not become loved by waiting for another to prove their devotion. You do not become healthy by waiting for symptoms to disappear. You become all of these things by assuming them to be true now, by feeling within yourself the joy, the freedom, the peace that comes with already possessing them. If you wish to manifest love, you must first become love. You must carry yourself as though you are already cherished, already adored, already deeply valued. You must not seek love from a place of emptiness, for the world will only reflect that emptiness back to you. Instead, you must embody the fullness of love within yourself, and in doing so, love will be drawn to you effortlessly. If you wish to manifest wealth, you must no longer think in terms of lack, you must no longer speak of struggle nor entertain thoughts of limitation. Even before the physical evidence arrives, you must walk in the consciousness of abundance. You must feel as one who has more than enough, who is generous, who is free. Money is not a thing to be chased, it is a frequency to be aligned with, and that frequency is not one of desperation, but of certainty. If you wish to manifest success, you must no longer dwell in fear or hesitation. You must no longer ask if you are capable, if you are worthy, if you are enough. You must assume the identity of one who has already achieved what they desire. You must move through life with the confidence and authority of someone who knows that their success is inevitable. For as long as you question, you delay. But the moment you claim, the moment you know, the moment you embody your success, it begins to unfold before you. This is not a philosophy of wishful thinking, nor an illusion to escape reality. It is the very nature of creation itself. Every great visionary, every pioneer, every leader throughout history has understood this truth, whether they spoke of it or not. They did not rise by waiting. They did not rise by seeking proof before they believed. They rose because they believed first, and the world had no choice but to conform. The mind will resist this at first. It will say, "But I do not see it yet. How can I act as if it is already done when my senses tell me otherwise?" This is where faith begins. Not blind faith in something outside of you, but faith in your own divine power to create. You must silence the mind's arguments and lean entirely into the feeling of your fulfilled desire. Do not try to force belief. Instead, relax into it. Dwell in it. Let it become so real in your imagination that you can no longer tell the difference between what is seen and what is felt. And when doubts arise, as they inevitably will, do not fight them. Simply return to the feeling of already having what you seek. Do not wrestle with old thoughts, for what you resist you strengthen. Instead, shift your attention back to the reality you choose to inhabit. The more you do this, the more natural it will become. And soon, what was once only imagined will begin to manifest in ways so seamless, so effortless, that it will seem as though it was always meant to be. There is no limitation except the one you impose upon yourself. The universe does not judge your desires, does not weigh them as possible or impossible. It simply reflects back to you what you assume to be true. If you assume limitation, you will see limitation. If you assume abundance, you will see abundance. The choice is always yours. You must take nothing personally in this world, for all of it is simply a projection of the self. If you see lack, look within and ask where you have assumed lack to be true. If you see rejection, ask where you have rejected yourself. If you see struggle, ask where you have believed that struggle is necessary, and then shift, choose anew, assume differently, and watch how quickly the reflection changes. You are not separate from your desires. You are not at the mercy of fate. You are the creator, the master, the divine force shaping every aspect of your reality. And the moment you step into this truth, the moment you claim your power with unwavering certainty, nothing will be withheld from you. Live now as though you already have all that you have asked for. Move now as though every prayer has been answered. Speak now as though you stand in the reality of your fulfilled dreams. And if you do this, truly, fully, completely, then you will never again wonder if manifestation is real. You will know because you will have lived it. There is no waiting in creation, there is only being. To wait implies that your desire is distant, that it exists somewhere outside of you, that time must pass before you can have it. But what if time were an illusion? What if distance were nothing more than a trick of the mind? What if, instead of waiting, you simply stepped into the reality where your desire is already fulfilled? You must understand that the moment you assume the feeling of your wish fulfilled, it is done. The world you see, the circumstances you believe to be real, are but the shadows of past assumptions. They have no power except the power you continue to give them. If you wish to step into a new reality, you must withdraw your attention from what is and place it entirely upon what you have declared to be. Look at your life now, at the things you experience daily. Each one of them is the outpicturing of a past belief. Whether consciously or unconsciously, you accepted these circumstances as true, and so they became true. But what was once assumed can be assumed again, differently, with greater intent. And the moment you shift that assumption, reality must shift with you. It is not a matter of hoping or wishing. It is not about asking the universe to grant you something outside of yourself. You are not a beggar at the doorstep of creation. You are the creator, the authority, the one who declares what is real. Do not fall into the illusion that you must earn or prove your worthiness. Worthiness was never in question. The only question is, what will you assume to be true? If you truly believed that your desire was already fulfilled, how would you act? How would you think, speak, move? Would you still worry, still doubt, still second-guess your ability to receive? No. You would carry yourself differently. You would move with confidence, with peace, with a quiet certainty that all is unfolding exactly as it should. This is the state you must occupy, not just for a moment, but persistently, unwaveringly, until it becomes second nature. Your imagination is the blueprint of your reality. What you hold in your mind's eye as real will be made real. There is no exception to this. The only reason so many fail to see their desires manifest is that they continue to waver. One moment they believe, the next moment they question. One day they affirm their desire is done, the next they look for evidence, and finding none, they doubt. This back and forth keeps them stuck in a loop of delay. But you will not do this. You will stand firm. You will live as though the world has already conformed to your desire. You will carry yourself as though your success is inevitable, because it is. You will walk with the knowing that what you have imagined is more real than what you see before you. And in doing so, what you see will change. This is not about pretending. It is not about ignoring reality. It is about choosing which reality you will accept. There are infinite possibilities, infinite versions of you existing right now. The only question is, which version will you align with? The moment you decide, the moment you shift into that state, you will notice the world around you begin to respond. Doors will open where before there were none. People will appear, opportunities will arise, events will unfold in ways you could not have predicted. But they will not come because you chased them. They will come because you became the version of yourself who already has them. They will come because you aligned with the state in which they naturally exist. You are never separate from what you seek. The idea that you must struggle, that you must prove yourself, that you must work tirelessly before you can receive, this is the greatest illusion of all. Creation is finished. Everything you could ever desire already exists. Your only task is to claim it. To claim it means to dwell in the feeling of already having it. It means to let go of needing, longing, or hoping. It means to rest in the absolute certainty that it is done. Do not concern yourself with how it will come to pass. The how is not your responsibility. The moment you try to control the how, you step out of faith and back into doubt. Your only task is to remain in the state of fulfillment. If ever you waver, if ever you feel doubt creeping in, return to the feeling. Remind yourself that the world is only a reflection. Do not be fooled by appearances. They are temporary, malleable, subject to the power of your assumption. And so you must live now as the person who has already received. You must think from the place of your fulfilled desire, not of it. Do not look at your desire as something in the distance. Step into it now. Let it become real within you. If you desire wealth, stop thinking of yourself as someone who is striving for it. Assume the consciousness of wealth now. Feel the freedom, the ease, the confidence that comes with financial abundance. Speak as one who has already received. Do not speak of lack. Do not entertain thoughts of struggle. The more you focus on not having, the more you reinforce the state of lack. If you desire love, cease looking for it outside of yourself. Become the embodiment of love. Feel as though you are already cherished, already adored, already surrounded by deep affection. Carry yourself as one who is already in the perfect relationship, and as you do, love must find you, because you have aligned with it. If you desire health, stop identifying with illness. Do not speak of symptoms. Do not dwell in the identity of someone who is unwell. Assume the state of perfect health. Feel yourself whole, strong, vibrant. Your body is a servant to your mind. It will reflect what you assume to be true. There is nothing outside of you that has power over you. No condition, no circumstance, no force greater than your own belief. The only reality that matters is the one you choose to accept. The only truth that exists is the one you declare as real. You may look around and say, but I do not see it yet. And I tell you, the moment you see it, it is no longer creation. Creation happens in the unseen, in the assumption, in the knowing before the evidence appears. The evidence is always the last to arrive. It is the shadow of the belief that preceded it. Do not be swayed by appearances. Do not let the world tell you what is possible. You are the one who defines possibility. You are the one who shapes the world. If you persist in the feeling of the wish fulfilled, Nothing can stop its manifestation. Let go of doubt, let go of waiting, let go of the illusion that you must struggle. Step into your power, step into your knowing. Live now as though everything you have asked for is already here. For if you do, you will soon discover the greatest truth of all, that you were never separate from your desires to begin with, that what you sought was always seeking you, that you were always standing in the midst of your answered prayer, and the moment you finally accept this, the moment you finally believe, the world will have no choice but to bow to your assumption and deliver to you the life you have claimed as your own. There is no force outside of you deciding what you can or cannot have. There is no external power determining when or if your desires will come to pass. The only authority in your world is your assumption, what you accept as real, what you believe without question, what you feel is true even before the evidence appears. This is the key to all manifestation. The moment you truly grasp this, you will stop waiting for life to change and start living as the master of your reality. You must not allow yourself to be moved by appearances. The world you see is not solid, not fixed, not unchangeable. It is fluid, responsive, obedient to your inner state. What you experience today is merely the crystallization of past thoughts, past beliefs, past assumptions. But just as a river flows and changes course, so too can your reality shift, the moment you decide it must. Most people believe they are subject to external conditions, that life happens to them, that they must react to whatever is placed before them. But this is a falsehood, an illusion, that keeps them bound to circumstances they do not wish to experience. The truth is that life is not happening to you, it is happening through you. You are not here to be a spectator, you are here to be the creator. And so you must decide what you will accept as real. If you continue to see yourself as separate from your desires, you will remain separate from them. If you continue to act as though you are waiting, you will continue to wait. If you continue to seek validation from the external world before you believe, you will remain trapped in the cycle of delay. Instead, you must assume the state of the wish fulfilled. You must live from it, not toward it, not reaching for it, not hoping for it, but from it. This means feeling now as you would feel if your desire were already yours. This means thinking, speaking, and acting in accordance with the reality you have chosen. When you close your eyes, do you feel the joy of already having what you desire? Do you feel the relief, the peace, the certainty? Or do you still feel the longing, the separation, the waiting? If the latter, you must shift. You must make the feeling real within you, for what is real within must become real without. There is no effort required beyond the effort to remain faithful to your assumption. The moment you accept something as true, the world begins to rearrange itself to match that truth. But you must not waver. You must not contradict your assumption with doubt, fear, or hesitation. You must hold fast to your vision, even when the world seems unchanged. Think of the seed planted in the soil. The gardener does not dig it up each day to check if it is growing. He knows that growth is inevitable, that the process is already underway. He trusts that the unseen forces are working to bring forth the harvest. So too must you trust in the unseen power within you. Your assumption is the seed. The moment you plant it in consciousness and nourish it with unwavering belief, it must bear fruit. Do not concern yourself with time. The mind, bound to the illusion of linear progression, will try to impose deadlines, will try to measure progress, will try to dictate how and when things should unfold. But manifestation does not operate on human schedules. It operates according to the law of assumption, which knows only certainty, not time. If you say, "I will have this someday," you have placed your desire in the future, and so it will remain in the future. If you say, "It is already mine," you claim it in the present, and the present must shift to reflect that claim. Do not wait for the world to change before you change. Change within, and the world will follow. Your emotions are the signal that tells you what state you are in. If you feel anxious, uncertain, doubtful, you are in the state of not having. If you feel calm, fulfilled, grateful, you are in the state of having. And what you persist in feeling, you will inevitably experience. This is why it is not enough to simply visualize or affirm your desire. You must feel it real. You must walk as though it is already done. You must breathe as though the thing you long for has already arrived. The universe does not respond to empty words. It responds to the frequency of your being. If you desire wealth, do not entertain thoughts of lack. Do not count pennies with a sense of desperation. Instead, embody the energy of abundance. Feel as though you have more than enough. Move through life with the certainty that you are financially secure, and as you do, wealth will be drawn to you in ways you cannot predict. If you desire love, do not seek it from a place of loneliness. Do not ask, when will I find someone, for in doing so you affirm that love is missing. Instead, feel as though love is already surrounding you. Carry yourself as one who is cherished, adored, deeply connected. And as you do, love will reveal itself effortlessly. If you desire health, do not identify with illness. Do not speak of symptoms. Do not dwell in the mindset of struggle. Instead, assume the state of perfect well-being. Feel yourself strong, vibrant, whole. Let that feeling become more real to you than anything the senses may suggest. And as you do, the body must align with the new assumption. There is no force outside of you deciding whether or not you are worthy. There is no test you must pass, no permission you must seek. The only requirement is that you believe. And belief is not something you wait for, it is something you choose. When you claim something as yours in consciousness, reality must catch up. When you persist in the assumption, when you refuse to entertain anything but the fulfillment of your desire, when you move as though it is already done, the world has no choice but to reflect your conviction. Many will tell you that change is difficult, that success requires struggle, that you must fight and toil to achieve what you want. But those who say this do not understand the law. They do not realize that effort in the external world is unnecessary when the internal world is aligned. Creation is finished. Everything you could ever desire already exists in potential. Your task is not to force it into being, but to step into the version of yourself where it is already real. And when you do, when you truly accept that you are already living in the reality you desire, the outer world must shift to match it. And so you must not wait another moment. You must not delay your assumption by seeking proof before you believe. The proof will come after you believe. The change will appear after you have assumed it to be real. You must live now in this very moment as though all you have asked for is already yours. You must walk with the assurance that the answer has already been given. You must speak with the confidence of one who knows that their desire has already materialized. You must think, feel, and move in the certainty that the unseen is more real than what is seen. For when you do, when you persist in this state, when you hold firm to your vision with unwavering faith, there will come a moment, sudden, effortless, inevitable, when the world shifts and you will look around and realize that what was once only imagined has become your reality. And in that moment you will know beyond all doubt that you were never separate from your desires, that what you sought was never outside of you, that it was always waiting for you to assume its reality. And the moment you did, it had no choice but to appear. You must not allow your current circumstances to dictate your belief. What you see before you is nothing more than the after-image of old thoughts, old assumptions, old states of being. If you judge reality based on what appears in the moment, you remain trapped in a cycle of repetition, recreating the same experiences over and over again. But if you dare to look beyond appearances, if you dare to accept that what you assume to be real will become real, then you will understand that nothing is fixed, nothing is beyond your power to change. You must walk each day in the absolute conviction that your desire has already been fulfilled, not tomorrow, not someday, but now. You must speak as one who already possesses all that they have ever longed for. You must carry yourself with the quiet confidence of someone who knows that their dream is not on its way, it has already arrived. The world responds to certainty, not hesitation. If you ask tentatively, if you approach life with an attitude of if only or I hope, then the world will reflect that uncertainty back to you. But if you assume with absolute conviction, if you declare within yourself that it is already done, the world will mold itself to that belief. Your task is not to figure out how your desire will come to pass. That is not your concern. The moment you begin to analyze, to strategize, to question whether it is possible, you introduce doubt, and doubt delays. The how is never your responsibility. Your responsibility is to assume the feeling of the wish fulfilled and to remain there, undisturbed by appearances, unaffected by time, unwavering in faith. There will be moments when the world seems unchanged, when reality appears to contradict your assumption. But this is merely a test of your persistence. Most people falter here, allowing fear to creep in, allowing old doubts to reclaim their minds, but not you. You will remain steadfast. You will understand that the external world must take time to reflect the shift that has already occurred within you. And so you will stand firm in your knowing, regardless of what the senses may suggest. If you wish to be free, you must think only from the perspective of freedom. If you wish to be loved, you must feel yourself already loved. If you wish to be abundant, you must walk in the state of abundance now, even if the world tells you otherwise. You cannot wait for proof. You cannot wait for evidence before you believe. You must believe first, and the evidence will follow. Do not allow the mind to wander into questions of when or how. These are distractions, obstacles placed before you by an old way of thinking. Instead, anchor yourself in the feeling of already having received. Live in that feeling so completely that it becomes your new normal. Let it be the first thing you feel upon waking and the last thing you feel before sleep. Let it be so real to you that the world has no choice but to conform. Most people fail to manifest because they attempt to hold two conflicting states at once. They affirm their desire while still identifying with its absence. They speak of abundance while still feeling lack. They visualize success while still fearing failure. And in doing so, they remain in limbo, neither moving forward nor remaining still. You must not make this mistake. You must choose one state and abide in it fully. You are not bound by past failures, by former limitations, by old stories you have told yourself. At any moment, you can step into a new state. You can release every doubt, every fear, every lingering sense of unworthiness, and you can claim your birthright as the creator of your reality. The power has always been yours. The only thing required is that you accept it. Creation is not about force. It is not about effort. It is not about struggling to make something happen. It is about relaxing into the knowing that it is already done. It is about surrendering to the truth that what you have imagined is as real as anything you can touch, hear, or see. It is about moving with the assurance that the world is already aligning itself to match your assumption. There is nothing to chase, there is nothing to earn, there is nothing to prove. You need only be. Be the person who has already received. Be the one who no longer questions. Be the one who no longer waits. The moment you step into that being, the moment you take that identity as your own, the world will shift to confirm it. If you wish to see a change in your life, you must first become that change. If you want to experience joy, you must become joy. If you want to experience love, you must become love. If you want to experience success, you must become success. The external world will never give you what you are unwilling to assume as already yours. You must not waver when others question you. You must not look to the world for reassurance. The world will always reflect back to you what you most deeply believe. If you demand proof before you assume, you will wait forever. But if you assume without needing proof, proof will come. There is no difference between the great and the ordinary except in what they accept as true. The great do not wait for the world to confirm their success. They assume it, and the world falls into place. They do not ask whether they are worthy. They know they are, and the world mirrors that knowing. They do not hope for opportunities. They expect them, and so they appear. You must do the same. You must rise each day in the certainty that your dream is already real. You must act not from a place of wanting, but from a place of already having. You must speak not as one who hopes, but as one who knows. And when the world begins to shift, when the people, the circumstances, the opportunities begin to move in ways you could never have predicted, you will not be surprised, you will not be in awe, you will not marvel at the sudden transformation. You will simply nod in quiet assurance, knowing that it could never have been any other way. For you will have understood the greatest truth of all, that life has never been happening to you, it has always been responding to you. And now you finally know how to command it. You are the master of your reality. There is no external power, no unseen force deciding your fate. The only law that governs your life is the law of assumption. What you believe to be true must become true. There is no exception, no loophole, no special circumstance that can override this law. It is absolute, unwavering, and always working, whether you realize it or not. Look at the life you are living now. Every event, every relationship, every condition is a reflection of what you have previously assumed to be true. Whether consciously or unconsciously, you have accepted certain beliefs, and the world has dutifully mirrored them back to you. If you have experienced struggle, it is only because, at some level, you have accepted struggle as part of your story. If you have faced rejection, it is because you have unknowingly assumed yourself to be someone who can be rejected. If you have lived in lack, it is because you have believed in lack. But just as easily as you once assumed struggle, rejection, or lack, you can assume ease, love, and abundance. The power to write your story is always in your hands. It does not take time. It does not require effort. It requires only that you shift your awareness, that you step into the state of already having that which you desire. Most people go through life allowing circumstances to dictate their state of mind. They wait for things to change before they allow themselves to feel joy, success, or fulfillment. But this is backward. The world does not change first, you do. The moment you decide that you are already the person you wish to be, the moment you dwell so deeply in that state that it becomes your natural way of being, the world will have no choice but to reflect it back to you. You must stop thinking of your desires and start thinking from them. There is a vast difference between the two. To think of your desire is to see it as something separate, something distant, something you must still work toward. But to think from your desire is to assume it is already yours. It is to feel the relief, the satisfaction, the absolute knowing that what you have wished for is already a part of your reality. What will it feel like if you already had everything you have ever asked for? Close your eyes and dwell in that feeling. Let it take over your being. Let it replace every doubt, every fear, every thought of separation. For as long as you remain in that state, it must manifest. The world must shift to match your new assumption. Do not waver. Do not let appearances deceive you. If you plant a seed in the ground, you do not dig it up the next day to see if it is growing. You trust that the process is unfolding, that unseen forces are at work bringing your vision to life. So too must you trust in the power of your own assumption. The moment you claim something as yours, it is yours. The world may take time to catch up, but your only task is to remain faithful to your new reality. This is not wishful thinking. This is not pretending. This is the truth of how creation works. Everything you experience is the direct result of your state of being. Change the state, and the experience must change with it. Most people make the mistake of reacting to the world instead of creating it. They see lack and assume it is real. They see obstacles and assume they must fight against them. But the wise do not react. They create. They assume the feeling of already having what they desire, and they let the world rearrange itself accordingly. You must do the same. If you desire wealth, stop affirming that it is coming and start assuming that it is already here. If you desire love, Stop seeking it outside of yourself and start embodying the feeling of already being loved. If you desire health, stop identifying with illness and start dwelling in the certainty of perfect well-being. And when the world begins to change, when circumstances shift, when opportunities arise, when what once seemed impossible suddenly unfolds effortlessly before you, you will not be surprised. You will not doubt. You will not marvel at your own power. You will simply nod, knowing that it could never have been any other way. For you will have lived as though your desire was already yours, and in doing so, you will have made it so. There is nothing more to seek, there is nothing more to wait for. There is only the assumption, the unwavering belief, the feeling of already being the person you wish to be. And once you step into that state fully, completely, without hesitation, the world will yield to you. It will reshape itself in your image. It will bring to you all that you have claimed as yours. Because the greatest secret is this: you were never separate from your desires. They have always been within you, waiting for you to assume them as real. And the moment you do, they will be. You now hold the key. You now understand that the world is not something you must struggle against, not something you must beg for, not something you must wait on. The world is your mirror, reflecting back only what you assume to be true. So, what will you assume from this moment forward? Will you continue to see yourself as someone who is waiting, longing, hoping? Or will you step boldly into the knowing that everything you desire is already yours? Will you walk as one who has already received, who no longer questions, who no longer seeks, but simply is? This is your moment of decision. This is the moment where you stop letting life happen to you and start commanding it from within. Live now as though all your prayers have been answered. Move now as though the reality you once dreamed of is already here. Breathe now as though nothing is missing, as though nothing has ever been missing. For the truth is, nothing ever was. You were never separate from your desires. You were never unworthy. You were never powerless. You were always the creator, the authority, the force that shapes reality itself. And now, knowing this, you can never go back to living as though you are anything less. Go forth not in hope, but in certainty. Go forth not as a seeker, but as one who is already found. Go forth and live as if God has already answered, because He has. There comes a time in life when you find yourself walking a road that seems lonely, a path where familiar faces fade and the world you once knew feels distant. You wonder why relationships crumble, why the people you once trusted slip away, and why silence becomes your closest companion. But what if this solitude is not a punishment, but a divine invitation? What if God is setting you apart, not to break you, but to awaken something within you that only isolation can reveal? Every great transformation begins with separation. The seed must be buried in darkness before it can break open and reach for the light. The caterpillar must be wrapped in stillness before it can take flight. And so it is with you. God calls you into solitude because there are things He must whisper to your soul that the noise of the world would drown out. He removes the distractions, the opinions, the expectations, and even the comfort, so that you may come face to face with your own divinity. When everything around you is stripped away, you begin to see clearly. You recognize that your strength was never in the crowd, but in the one who breathed life into you. You discover that your worth was never in validation, but in the truth that you were chosen before the foundation of the world. You realize that what you thought was loneliness was actually alignment, a sacred preparation for the destiny that awaits you. God isolates His chosen ones because He has called them to something greater. You cannot carry the weight of divine purpose while clinging to the things that no longer serve you. You cannot step into new blessings while holding on to old attachments. So He removes, He refines, He resets. The people who walked away were not meant to stay. The opportunities that slipped through your fingers were not meant to hold. The places you outgrew were not meant to contain you. If you feel alone, understand that you are not abandoned. You are being elevated. This is the moment where you must trust, not in what you see, but in the unseen hand that is guiding you. The stillness is not emptiness. It is an open space where God can pour into you without interference. The silence is not rejection. It is an invitation to hear Him more clearly. You were never meant to fit in because you were created to stand out. You were never meant to walk with the crowd because you were destined to lead. And if the journey feels lonely, it is only because God is calling you higher. Let this solitude mold you, strengthen you, and prepare you. Because when the time comes, you will not return as the person you once were. You will rise as the person you were always meant to be. There is a deep mystery in being set apart, one that the world does not understand. It is easy to believe that solitude is a sign of rejection, that isolation means something has gone wrong. But in the divine order of things, to be set apart is to be prepared, and to be alone is to be strengthened. If you find yourself in a season where doors have closed, where people have walked away, where familiar comforts no longer satisfy, then you must understand this. God has removed you from the noise so that He may speak to you in the silence. You were not created to blend in with the world. You were not designed to follow the patterns of those around you. You are different, chosen, called for something greater than the ordinary rhythm of life. And when God calls someone into their true purpose, He often begins by stripping away everything they thought they needed. He takes away the things that were never truly theirs to keep. He removes the relationships that would have hindered their growth. He separates them from distractions, from false security, from the need for approval, because only in this sacred solitude can the truth of who you are be fully revealed. The discomfort of isolation is not meant to break you, but to refine you. When God removes everything familiar, He is asking you to trust in something greater than what your eyes can see. The foundation of your life is being rebuilt, your mind is being renewed, your spirit is being prepared for what is coming. And though it may feel painful, though it may feel as if you are wandering without direction, know this: nothing is being taken away that will not be replaced with something far greater. Look at the lives of those who were used mightily by God, and you will see a pattern. Every great leader, every great teacher, every great visionary was first called into isolation. Moses was set apart in the wilderness before he could lead. Joseph was betrayed and imprisoned before he could rule. David was anointed but had to endure years of solitude before he could wear the crown. Even Jesus Himself withdrew into the wilderness before stepping fully into His divine purpose. Why? Because there are lessons that can only be learned in solitude. There is strength that can only be gained in stillness. There is a voice that can only be heard in silence. You have been called into this season not to suffer, but to transform. You are not being punished, you are being prepared. You are not being abandoned, you are being positioned. And though your mind may seek answers, though your heart may long for understanding, faith will teach you that the answers do not come from the world, but from within. The solitude is not meant to weaken you, it is meant to awaken you. It is a divine reset, an invitation to step into a new reality, one where you no longer rely on what is external, but on the infinite power that has always been within you. In this season you must release the need for validation. You must let go of the illusion that you need people to complete you. You must surrender the idea that you are missing something, because the truth is, nothing has been lost. What is truly yours can never be taken from you. The people meant to walk with you will return in divine timing. The doors that need to open will do so effortlessly. But first you must come to know yourself without all the external distractions. You must stand in your own presence, unshaken by the absence of others, unwavering in your faith that everything is unfolding exactly as it should. Solitude is a mirror. It reveals what is hidden. It strips away the masks. It forces you to face the parts of yourself that have been neglected, the wounds that have been ignored, the fears that have been buried. And it is in this sacred unveiling that true healing begins, because when everything external is removed, you are left with the only thing that ever truly mattered, your connection to the divine. This is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of something far greater than you can comprehend. Every great transformation requires a period of isolation. Every masterpiece begins in the unseen. Every destiny is first shaped in the quiet places before it is revealed to the world. And so if you find yourself alone, do not despair, do not resist, do not seek to escape the silence. Instead, embrace it. Dive into it. Listen to the whispers of your soul, for in this stillness, in this sacred solitude, you will find the very thing you have been searching for all along. You will come to see that you were never truly alone, you were never abandoned, never forsaken. The presence of God has been with you all along, guiding you, shaping you, preparing you. And when the time comes, when the season of isolation has done its work, you will emerge renewed, transformed, awakened. You will not return as the person you once were. You will return as the person you were always meant to be. And the world will see the light that has been ignited within you, the strength that has been forged in the silence, the power that has been birthed in solitude. For now, trust the process, trust the unfolding, trust that every moment of isolation is leading you closer to your higher self, to your divine purpose, to the life that has been waiting for you all along. And when the time is right, when the preparation is complete, the doors will open, the right people will come, and everything that is meant for you will be revealed. Until then, stand firm in faith, embrace the silence, and know that you are exactly where you are meant to be. There is a reason why you feel distant from the world, why the people you once held close seem unreachable, why the things that once brought you comfort no longer satisfy your soul. This is not a mistake. This is not a random event. You are being set apart. You are being prepared for something greater than your current reality. It is not rejection, it is elevation. It is not abandonment, it is transformation. God has chosen you for a higher calling, and with that calling comes a necessary season of separation. You cannot step into your destiny while still clinging to the past. You cannot walk in divine purpose while carrying the weight of relationships that no longer align with where you are going. So, the separation comes, the solitude deepens, and in the stillness, you are forced to look within. You are forced to let go of what no longer serves you. You are forced to stand on your own, not because you are meant to be alone forever, but because you must first learn who you are without the distractions of the world. Everything you once relied on is being stripped away so that you may come to know the only thing that truly matters, your connection to the divine. This is where your strength is found. This is where your identity is revealed. This is where you discover that you are not dependent on the approval of others, that you are not defined by what you have lost, that you are not weakened by solitude, but strengthened by it. Do not resist this process. Do not fight against the changes that are unfolding in your life. There is a reason why certain people have walked away. There is a reason why doors have closed. There is a reason why you feel different, why you no longer fit into the spaces you once occupied. You are growing, you are evolving, you are being prepared for something far beyond what you can see. And with that growth comes discomfort. With that evolution comes moments of loneliness. But what you must understand is that this solitude is not emptiness. It is a sacred space where your true power is being revealed. The world will try to convince you that being alone is something to be feared, that silence is something to escape, that you must constantly surround yourself with people in order to be whole. But the truth is, solitude is where your greatest strength is born. It is where you learn to listen, not to the noise of the world, but to the voice of God within you. It is where your mind is renewed, where your faith is tested, where your purpose becomes clear. It is where you realize that you were never truly alone to begin with, that the presence of the divine has been guiding you all along, leading you toward a future far greater than you could have imagined. If you find yourself in a season of isolation, do not allow fear to take hold. Do not allow doubt to cloud your mind. Do not allow loneliness to convince you that you are forgotten. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are being set apart. You are being molded. You are being strengthened in ways you cannot yet understand. What feels like loss is actually alignment. What feels like separation is actually preparation. What feels like the end is actually the beginning of something new. Every great transformation requires a period of stillness. The seed must be buried in the darkness before it can break open and reach for the light. The caterpillar must be wrapped in stillness before it can become the butterfly. And so it is with you. This moment of solitude is not meant to harm you. It is meant to awaken you. It is meant to push you toward the version of yourself that has always been waiting on the other side of fear, doubt, and limitation. This is the season where you must learn to trust. Trust in the unseen, trust in the process. Trust that every closed door is making room for something better. Trust that every loss is clearing the way for something greater. Trust that God has not brought you this far to leave you. That every tear, every unanswered question, every moment of silence is working together for your highest good. You must come to understand that solitude is not a punishment, it is a privilege. It is an opportunity to grow without distraction, to heal without interference, to step into your power without compromise. It is in this space that you will come to see yourself clearly, not as the world defined you, but as God has always seen you. Strong, capable, chosen. You will come to realize that you do not need external validation to know your worth. You do not need constant companionship to feel complete. You do not need the approval of others to walk in confidence. Everything you need has already been placed within you, and it is in this season of solitude that you will learn to access it. Let go of the need to explain your journey to those who do not understand it. Let go of the desire to hold on to relationships that are no longer serving your growth. Let go of the fear that being alone means being forgotten. You are never alone. You are never forgotten. You are exactly where you are meant to be. And when the time is right, when this season of preparation has done its work, everything that is meant for you will come effortlessly. The right people will enter your life, not to fill a void, but to walk alongside you as equals. The right doors will open, not because you forced them to, but because you were ready to walk through them. The right opportunities will appear, not because you chased them, but because you became the person who was ready to receive them. But first, you must embrace this moment. You must accept the silence, the stillness, the solitude. You must trust that what is being removed is making space for something greater. You must believe that every challenge is a lesson, every delay is divine timing, every lonely night is a step closer to the life you were always meant to live. And when this season comes to an end, when you emerge from this period of isolation, you will not be the same person you once were. You will be stronger, wiser, more aligned with your purpose than ever before. You will carry a power within you that cannot be shaken, a peace that cannot be disturbed, a faith that cannot be broken. So stand firm. Hold on to the truth that everything is happening for you, not against you. Know that God is not just taking things away, He is making room for what is truly yours. And when the time comes, you will look back on this season of solitude not with sorrow, but with gratitude, because you will see that it was in this space of stillness that you found yourself, that you found your strength, that you found God in a way you never had before. And that is worth more than anything you thought you lost. You must begin to see this season not as a time of emptiness, but as a time of fulfillment. What the world calls loneliness, heaven calls preparation. What feels like separation is actually elevation. You are being pulled away from the familiar so that you may step into the extraordinary. You are being removed from the noise so that you may hear the truth. You are being taken out of the crowd so that you may discover the power that lies within you. There is nothing random about this process. Every shift, every loss, every moment of solitude has been divinely orchestrated for your transformation. It may not make sense now. You may not understand why certain people have walked away, why the doors you once relied upon have closed, why you no longer feel connected to the places and things that once gave you comfort. But one day, you will look back and realize that everything happened exactly as it needed to. You will see that nothing was taken from you. Rather, you were being guided towards something far greater than what you could have imagined. Right now, the world may not see you. They may not recognize the changes happening within you. They may not understand why you have pulled away, why you no longer engage in the same conversations, why your desires have shifted. That is because you are being made new. You are being prepared for something higher, something sacred, something beyond the reach of the ordinary. The world will only understand when they see the manifestation of what is being built in this season. Until then, you must trust the process, even when no one else does. The greatest transformations always happen in the unseen. The tree grows its deepest roots in silence, before it ever reaches toward the sky. The diamond is formed in the pressure of darkness before it ever shines in the light. The masterpiece is painted stroke by stroke in solitude before it is ever revealed to the world. And so it is with you. What is happening now, though invisible to the outside world, is shaping you into the person you were destined to be. Every moment of stillness is strengthening you. Every tear is watering the soil of your future. Every loss is making space for something that is meant to stay. This journey is not for everyone. Not everyone will understand why you have been set apart. Not everyone will see the vision God has placed within you. Not everyone will be able to walk with you in this season of transformation. But that is not your concern. You are not called to convince people of your path. You are not called to explain yourself to those who are not meant to understand. And you are called to walk in faith, to embrace the solitude, to trust that what is unfolding is leading you to something beyond what you could have planned for yourself. There is no need to fear the silence. There is no need to resist the isolation. This is where you find your true self, where you shed the old identities that no longer serve you, where you break free from the limitations that have kept you bound. You are no longer who you used to be. You are not the same person who needed constant validation, who feared rejection, who sought approval from others. That version of you is being left behind. In this sacred solitude, you are being reborn. You are coming into alignment with who you truly are, not who the world told you to be. There is a shift happening within you, a shift that will change everything. Your mind is being renewed, your spirit is being awakened, your purpose is being revealed. And though it may feel like you are in the wilderness now, know that every step is leading you closer to the promise. What is waiting for you on the other side of this season will make every moment of isolation worth it. The doors that will open, the people that will come, the opportunities that will unfold. Everything will align in divine timing. But first, you must be patient. You must allow the process to unfold without resistance. You must trust that even in the silence, God is working. Even in the stillness, things are shifting. Even when it seems like nothing is happening, everything is happening beneath the surface. You are growing in ways that cannot yet be seen. You are being prepared for a life that you cannot yet imagine. And when the time is right, when the foundation has been laid, when you have fully stepped into the strength of who you are, everything that is meant for you will come effortlessly. There is nothing to fear, there is nothing to doubt. You are not lost, you are being guided. You are not forgotten, you are being protected. You are not alone, you are being held. And when this season has done its work, when you emerge from this sacred solitude, you will not just return as the person you once were, you will return transformed. You will return empowered. You will return as the person you were always destined to be. You must begin to embrace the silence, for it is not an emptiness, but a space filled with divine intention. Every moment of solitude is carving out within you a new depth of understanding, a new level of faith, a new awareness of your own power. The world may not see what is happening inside of you, but that does not mean the transformation is not real. It is happening beneath the surface, like roots growing deep into the earth before the tree ever appears. There is a breaking that must take place before the breakthrough. The breaking of old patterns, old mindsets, old attachments that have kept you from stepping into your highest self. This breaking is not meant to harm you, but to free you. The attachments that once defined you are dissolving so that you may stand fully in the truth of who you are. You are learning that you are not dependent on anything external for your strength. You are not dependent on the approval of others. You are not defined by relationships that have ended. You are not weakened by loss. You are strengthened by it. It is in this season of separation that you will come to realize what truly matters. You will see how much time you spent chasing after things that were never meant to last. You will recognize the illusions that kept you bound, the fears that kept you small, the distractions that kept you from walking fully in your divine purpose. And once your eyes have been opened, you will never again settle for anything less than what is truly meant for you. Let go of the need to understand everything in this moment. Let go of the need to see the full picture. Your human mind may not yet grasp the divine orchestration that is at work in your life, but that does not mean it is not happening. Trust the process. Trust that the pain has a purpose. Trust that the delays are divine. Trust that what feels like an ending is actually a beginning. Every great leader, every great visionary, every person who has ever stepped into their highest calling has walked through a season of isolation. Moses was alone in the wilderness before leading his people to freedom. Joseph was betrayed and cast into prison before rising to a position of power. Jesus withdrew to the mountains to pray before performing miracles. The pattern is clear. Before elevation, there is separation. Before the promise is fulfilled, there is a period of preparation. Before destiny unfolds, there is a necessary refining. This is the refining season. This is where everything that is not truly you is stripped away. This is where your strength is tested, where your faith is made unshakable, where your heart is purified from everything that is not aligned with your divine purpose. Do not despise this process. Do not resist it. What is being built within you in this season will be the foundation for everything that is to come. You must be willing to release the past in order to receive the future. You must be willing to step into the unknown, to walk forward even when you cannot yet see the path. This is what faith requires. This is what transformation demands. You cannot hold on to what was and step fully into what is meant to be. You cannot carry the weight of yesterday into the promise of tomorrow. There is something greater waiting for you on the other side of this season. There is a life beyond anything you have imagined, a future so beautiful, so aligned, so abundant, that if you could see it now, you would not question a single thing that is happening in your life. You would not fear the solitude, you would not resist the changes, you would not grieve what has left, because you would know, without a doubt, that everything is happening exactly as it should. The people who walked away were not meant to stay. The doors that closed were not the right ones. The silence is not abandonment. It is an invitation to go deeper, deeper into your purpose, deeper into your faith, deeper into your divine connection. This is not the time to shrink back in fear. This is the time to rise. This is the time to trust. This is the time to fully surrender to the unfolding of something far greater than you can comprehend. There will come a day when you look back on this season with gratitude. There will come a moment when you understand why everything had to happen the way it did. The pain will make sense. The losses will no longer feel like losses. The delays will be revealed as divine protection. And in that moment you will stand in awe of the way it all came together. You will see that you were never alone, never forgotten, never forsaken. You were being prepared, you were being positioned, you were being made ready for the life that was always meant to be yours. So do not resist this solitude, do not fear the silence, do not doubt the journey. You are exactly where you are meant to be, and when this season has fulfilled its purpose, when the time is right, everything that is meant for you will come with ease, with clarity, with certainty. You will no longer question, you will no longer fear, you will simply know, because you will have become the person who was always meant to receive it. Every moment of solitude is an invitation to step deeper into yourself, to listen beyond the noise of the world, to hear the still, small voice that has been calling you all along. You are not here to blend in, to follow the crowd, to move as the world moves. You are here to awaken, to rise, to become something more than what you have been set apart. This is why you have been set apart. This is why the distractions have been removed. This is why certain people could not continue on this journey with you. It is not rejection, it is redirection. It is not punishment, it is preparation. You are being refined in the silence. In the stillness, you are becoming stronger, wiser, more aligned with your divine purpose. You may not see the full picture yet, but something within you knows that you are being guided. You can feel it in the way your desires have changed, in the way your mind has expanded, in the way your heart has learned to let go. What once mattered no longer holds the same weight. What once defined you no longer feels like truth. This is the transformation. This is the shedding of the old, so that you may step fully into the new. There is a reason why you no longer fit into certain spaces. There is a reason why conversations that once entertained you now feel empty. There is a reason why you feel the pull to go inward, to be still, to disconnect from the noise. It is because something greater is being revealed to you. You are seeing what most people do not see. You are understanding what most people do not understand. The world will call it loneliness, but heaven calls it consecration. You are being set apart so that you may rise into the fullness of who you were always meant to be. This is not a time to seek validation from others. This is not a time to look for reassurance outside of yourself. No one else can walk this path for you. No one else can see the vision that has been placed within you. No one else can understand the depth of your transformation. And that is okay. You are not meant to be understood by everyone. You are not meant to be accepted by the masses. You are meant to walk in divine alignment, to move with unwavering faith, to trust that what is happening within you is far more important than what is happening around you. Let go of the need to explain yourself. Let go of the need to be seen, to be heard, to be recognized. Your validation does not come from the world. Your worth is not determined by the opinions of others. What is being built within you will speak for itself in time. The shift that is happening inside of you will become so undeniable that the world will have no choice but to take notice. But by then, you will no longer be concerned with their recognition. By then, you will have outgrown the need for approval. By then, you will be so deeply rooted in your truth that nothing outside of you will shake you. This is the power of solitude. This is the gift of being set apart. It is not an easy journey, but it is a necessary one. You cannot carry the weight of your past into the future that is being prepared for you. You cannot cling to what was and still step fully into what is to come. There is a shedding that must take place, a releasing, a surrendering. Only then will you be able to receive what has been waiting for you all along. You may not understand it now, but one day you will. One day you will look back on this season and realize that it was the turning point, the moment everything shifted, the moment you stopped seeking and started knowing, the moment you released fear and stepped fully into faith. And when that day comes, you will see that every moment of solitude was worth it. Every tear, every unanswered question, every silent night, it was all leading you to the life that was always meant for you. So trust this process. Trust that what is being removed is making space for something greater. Trust that what feels like isolation is actually elevation. Trust that you are being prepared, molded, refined into the person you were always destined to be, and when the time is right, when you have become the version of yourself that is ready to receive, Everything that is meant for you will come with ease, with clarity, with divine alignment. You will no longer chase, you will no longer question, you will simply know, because you will have become the person who was always meant to have it. You are being positioned for something that cannot be rushed. The timing of your life is not random. Every shift, every delay, every door that closed was necessary. You are not being punished, you are being perfected. The silence is not emptiness, it is divine alignment. The loneliness is not abandonment, it is a sacred invitation to discover the fullness of your own being. There are things you must learn in the quiet, lessons that cannot be taught in the presence of distraction. You are being refined, redefined, and made whole in a way that will make sense only in hindsight. The world would have you believe that isolation is a curse, that being set apart is something to fear. But this is not a curse, it is a calling. Not everyone is chosen to walk this path. Not everyone is meant to carry the weight of divine purpose. That is why you cannot compare your journey to others. That is why you cannot measure your progress by worldly standards. What is happening in you is beyond what the eyes can see, beyond what the mind can comprehend. You are becoming, and becoming requires separation. It requires distance from what no longer serves you. It requires the breaking away from the old so that the new can emerge. There is a stripping away that must take place before the unveiling. Every illusion that has clouded your vision, every attachment that has weighed you down, every belief that has limited your expansion, it is all being removed. Do not resist this process. Do not cling to what is being released. You are not losing anything of true value. You are being emptied so that you can be filled with something greater. You are being realigned with the highest version of yourself. This is the preparation before the elevation. This is the pruning before the flourishing. This is the fire before the gold. You must come to a place where you no longer fear being alone. You must find comfort in your own presence, strength in your solitude, wisdom in your stillness. Because when the time comes, when the doors open, when the floodgates of blessings pour into your life, you will need to be ready. You will need to be grounded, unwavering, unshaken by the noise of the world. What is being built in you now is not just for this moment. It is for the rest of your life. The lessons you are learning, the strength you are cultivating, the faith you are developing will sustain you through every season that follows. There is no need to force anything. There is no need to chase, to beg, to strive in desperation. What is meant for you will find you when you are ready. And readiness is not about doing more. It is about becoming more. It is about aligning yourself so completely with your divine purpose that when the blessings come, they do not overwhelm you, but instead flow through you with ease. That is why this time alone is sacred. That is why you must embrace it fully. There is a reason why things are happening the way they are. There is a reason why certain doors did not open, why certain people had to leave, why certain plans did not unfold the way you expected. It is all working together for your highest good. You are not forgotten. You are not overlooked. You are not behind. You are exactly where you need to be. The unfolding of your destiny is not on anyone else's timeline. It is moving at the perfect pace even when it does not feel like it. Even when you cannot see the progress, trust that it is happening. Even when nothing seems to be changing, know that everything is shifting beneath the surface. Faith is not about seeing, it is about knowing. It is about trusting that what is unseen is more real than what is visible. You are walking a path that not everyone will understand. You are being shaped in ways that cannot be explained. You are being led by a force greater than logic, greater than reason, greater than anything the world can offer, and that is why you must trust this process. That is why you must hold on to your faith, even when nothing makes sense. That is why you must walk forward, even when the path is unclear. Because the moment you let go of fear, the moment you surrender fully to this divine unfolding, everything will begin to fall into place. The doors will open effortlessly, the connections will form naturally, the blessings will flow abundantly. But first, you must become the person who is ready to receive. You must become the vessel that can hold the magnitude of what is coming. You must allow yourself to be emptied of everything that is not aligned with your highest self. And that is what this season of solitude is about. That is why you have been set apart. Not to suffer, not to struggle, but to be prepared, to be strengthened, to be transformed. Because what is coming is bigger than what you have prayed for. What is coming is beyond what you have imagined. What is coming will not just bless you, it will bless generations after you. So embrace this time, honor this process, trust the divine timing of your life. The silence is not an absence, it is a presence. The solitude is not a void, it is a sacred space for becoming. And when the time is right, when you have been refined, when you have become who you were always meant to be, everything that is meant for you will arrive, with clarity, with ease, with undeniable certainty. You will not question it. You will not chase it. You will not force it. You will simply step into it, because you will finally be the person who was always meant to have it. And so, as you walk this path of solitude, know that you are not alone. You are being guided, molded, and prepared for something beyond your imagination. The silence is not a sign of abandonment, but an indication of transformation. You are not being forgotten, you are being refined. Every moment of stillness is shaping you into the person who can hold the blessings that are coming. When the time is right, everything will align effortlessly. The people meant for you will find you. The doors meant for you will open. The purpose meant for you will unfold. And when that moment arrives, you will look back and realize that the solitude was never loneliness, it was preparation. The waiting was never wasted, it was elevation. The separation was never rejection, it was elevation. Trust this process. Embrace this season. Walk forward with faith, knowing that everything is working together for your highest good. And when the day comes when everything falls into place, you will not just receive the blessings, you will be ready for them, because you will have become the person who was always meant to have them.